everyone. It's me, Pichu, and I'd like to welcome you all to, I guess, one of my a series of mine. I think I'm starting up. I don't know. A little school rant. Why I hate school. By popular originally, I was gonna end this one on part two. Now I wasn't even gonna make this to begin with, but I think everyone would like this. So I had different ideas. Let's go ahead and make another part. And yes, make another part. I probably will make another part out of this, but not sure. One about, and I'm gonna make about school food. Yes, school food. And boy, do I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this. Okay, to start everything off, I'm gonna get my personal little story about school lunch. That wait. I don't really think so. To be completely and utterly really bad. I have never had a really bad school lunch. To be completely utterly honest here, I don't really think so. To be honest, I mean, not that I can remember. Although then again, I might have actually had it a bit of an issue. But I know other people had a problem with it. But I think it was around the time of high school and everything that I kind of realized that the school lunches were were kind of going downhill, especially during the Obama administration, which was a kind of a problem. Not that it gets Obama family, I'm just saying. I mean, they kind of ruined the school lunch. Did they ruin it? I don't know. I had a little bit of a history lesson for you. But anyway, the earliest time I can remember my first school lunch was probably around the time of elementary school. I don't remember any other time before that. But mostly just elementary school, where I was, what? Let's see. Um, First grade, I think? No, I don't remember. Second? Third? Fourth? I think it was third. Alright. Alright, third grade. Let's just see third grade. Whatever I said, and every day, it was kind of funny because, for one, the milk was not in boxes like they are now. They used to be like, what? Kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, you know they were on cute little bags, little plastic bags. I mean, everything. I mean, I don't like grab the chocolate milk one. I would never drink it though. I don't know why, because I would get thirsty. But I guess it was the idea of drinking bubbles that kind of grossed me out, which kind of sit there do. I hate when people sit there like blow bubbles in their milk in the drink. It's like flipping disgusting to me. But still, I mean, so I would never really drink it per se. I would just play with it. It was kind of fun. It was like a little, water beanbag. It's but filled with milk though, and not with water. But anyways, not only that, but the food was actually really good. Now, since I lived in what was it? Ah, Bluebeeville. I lived in Bluebeeville at the time. What was it? Alola at the time. Yeah, Alola. The food was actually really, really, really good. In fact, the breakfast were the best ones, especially with Big Day. Oh my goodness, you guys, the beignets were so flipping delicious. He got like at least two or three of them, and I had a couple of friends with me, including my little girlfriend. That I had at the time. And she, hey, what was it? Happy or Chance? What was it? Happy or Igglybuff? I don't remember. Remember. Oh yeah, it was what's her name? Happy. Yeah. Whereas in a couple people gave me theirs, and I like have a big old stack of freaking well, it was not very odd, but I remember my girl would be the one who would sit there and give me her beignets. Isn't it like I have like four of them and I eat them. They're so good. I want to eat more of them. But anyways, the breakfast was good. Even the sausage mixers were good. Heck, the best thing was on the menu was pancakes on a stick. Yeah, Lil and Raichu's love those things. My auntie, Lil and Raichu loves it. She is obsessed with them. But anyways, I think he got like one or two of them actually. I think he probably got like two. And this is around the time, where you could sit there and they didn't have limitation of what kind of, condiments you could put on there. In fact, I remember there being a separate table, right next to the bar and everything, where you got all your side dishes and things like that. But I remember there being like another separate table where you could sit there and you could put as much syrup as you want. They came in these giant paper boats, so I would fill the syrup up as much as I was. And then once I got done, I would, whatever syrup that wasn't consumed with the pancakes, such, I would drink. And it would actually give me a lot of energy for school, which was good. It helped me out a lot. It helped me keep myself focused. And around that time, it was a good year. It was a good time for me in middle school. Elementary specifically. Because I got to eat well. I got to eat very, very, very well. Even lunches were good too. In fact, I remember, whenever you got your lunches and everything, you would get your main entree and the thing plus your milk, and then Now get like your side dishes, I think. But then afterwards, there was like a separate bar that you could like go down to, and you could put in whatever. It is is that what you want? Like get more core, get more food or whatever, or your thing put as much cheese on it. They had crumpled up Velveeta cheese once, and oh my gosh, that thing was so good. You don't know how I react to cheese. I go crazy. Yeah, at the best time ever, especially pouring that on tacos. Oh god, oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, I have to admit, school lunches around that time were actually pretty dang good. I mean, they weren't perfect, I'll admit, but they definitely were good, especially getting that loaf of bread and everything like that. But although majority of the bread that was always a problem, like rolls, everything that would give you an example, will always be extremely dry for some reason. And that was always a problem. But even though, still getting back to the whole thing that I'm saying, I apologize for rambling, but still, it's true. I mean, school lunches back then around my were actually a good time. To enjoy the food was good. It was actually well made and somewhat was okay. That was actually homemade too. Oh, it was homemade as well. I mean, it was really dang good, but unfortunately, though, as time progressed, the food got worse and worse. In fact, I remember a period of time where I just didn't want to eat anything at the school anymore. So I started, packing my own bag lunches. And let me tell you, I put a ton on that. But still, the food of its own self was very, very dang good. I mean, scratch that. They usually weren't that good at us, especially run high school time. And this is where things got bad because worse. I remember there would be periods of time where I would eat the high school lunch, and I think that was like the ninth grade or something when I first started up. And let me tell you something, the food there was disgusting, like really, really disgusting, in more ways than you could think. They had this thing called the John Wayne Gacy casserole. Um, who named the casserole John Wayne Gacy? What? Like, it like somebody vomited into a flipping tub of meat. It looked disgusting. The John Wick casserole had like chopped onion, which I flipping hate onions. Y'all should know that the nasty, but should know that a nasty flipping hate onions. Y'all should know that a nasty amount of cheese, not like Taco Bell cheese, but like a layer of cheese and like some seasoned meat. And I think it's like chips maybe, but that's about it. But it was not good. It was never really good. But I think the worst part about it is that the time you gotta sit there and you got the dessert sometimes. I would be like desserts and everything, and what they were literally frozen cups of fruit. I'm not joking. The fruit that we would get in the little cups and everything would be purely frozen. I don't know if it's this sick idea of a dessert maybe, but it was messed up one if you ask me. That kind of made me mad whenever we started getting those in the actual fruit and of its own self. I didn't expect exactly trust, especially in high school, because you have to become ally frank. You have to be very, very suspicious here. I mean, the food did get there. It is exactly supposed to be fresh. It isn't exactly fresh. It's kind of like I always avoid the apple because I will always avoid the pears because I'm not a fan of pears. Yes, I will eat them too because they had a weird texture to me. But I think there was like the apples, the pears that were usually hard, that were usually soft, too soft, like the bananas that were still sometimes good, and then like fruit cocktails that would taste like garbage. Like don't get me started on the flipping grapes; those are nasty. Like sometimes you get grapes that were all shriveled up and nasty, which is really which is really disgusting in more ways than one, and just downright negligent. But even though it was nothing compared to milk, now the high school I went to had a big, big positive when it came to their thing. It had specifically it had a different variety of milk. So that regular milk, that skim milk, it had chocolate milk, and I take the strawberry milk because that one was the goat. That was the goat right there. I'm telling you, I wouldn't even drink the chocolate milk. I would just drink the strawberry because it was really dang good. But even though I mean, there were still problems even with the milk. In fact, I remember a few people more than once getting a box of expired milk filled with ice. Have actually been times where kids have gotten expired cartons of milk and they wouldn't drink it. Now, another thing that was good that all my high school did was that realized that some people didn't want to drink the milk. They have, She opted for like a giant cooler of water, which was really refreshing, really good. It helps you go down. It was all iced up so you could good and go and enjoy it. I think there was like even a certain section for like seniors who want to get iced tea. No, you could drink iced tea anytime you wanted, which was another positive to me, but still though. I mean, it wasn't no bad excuse for me personally, but it definitely was starting to get bad, especially around the time of the what's it called? Michelle Obama school lunch program, I think that was really bad. Main reason that you were pretty much forced to get the garbage food that you didn't want to get, or else you could eat like there would have been a note for you period of time. The only thing when I actually did eat the school lunch that I didn't have, like a fruit or a vegetable, and they say you need to go back, you need to go back and get like a fruit or vegetable. And I had to, and I would eat because obviously that mess tastes like crap. But I would have to either way. Thus, it got a lot of wasted food, kind of counterproductive, right? And it was a problem. Another issue is in of its own self that went by. It came to the situation was, what happens whenever you weren't able to afford your lunch? This is where this is where the serious stuff starts to come up. This is probably the most insulting kind of thing some schools do. This now thing kind of thing, and some schools do this kind of stuff now. You don't believe me? Look it up. Times where school lunches were, well, school places where if you don't have the money, you don't eat. And I think that's best. Have the money, you don't eat. And that's messed up in more ways than one. Why are you gonna sit there and deny a kid a meal because they either don't have money to pay for it, they're a little bit overdraft? I mean, now think about it. Think about it. Lunches, they only take it. They're like what four, like three something nowadays, like $3.25. Yeah, so which in of its own self may not seem expensive, but really when you calculate all of it up, I would do continuous, for like 5 whole days, like it's very pricey. It's not exactly easy to do, and many teens, many of the students and everything were teenagers. I mean, they had their own vehicles, they had to sit there and eat for gas, and I mean, I'm gonna sit there and pay for crappy school lunch was definitely not on anyone's agenda at the time. Now, if you were a senior and everything, you got most of your credits. You just went home for lunch and you stayed home for the rest of the day, and that was the best part about my high school. Even then, though, schools tend to do that, and that's a big problem when it comes to the lunch program, the school lunch programs. Whenever you don't have enough money, or you're not a little bit overdraft, most of the time you can't eat anything. You can't eat food. You can't. They take your food and they literally throw it away right in front of you, which is, that's pretty excessive. Not happen if you have not been able to eat there and get their meals and they're starving. You need to understand something too. Kids have to sit there and wake up really, really early. When it comes to school, they don't really have much time for breakfast because there's like what's kind of schedule to kind of more get less point. I would have to get up around 6 a.m. every single day until time I got my car, but around 6 a.m. every day in order to catch the bus. And during the time I had to get up at 6:05 or 6:50 to get out there and wait for my bus. Now, during that time, I had to get up, I had to make my bed. Well, I had to make my bed, I had to sit there and, get my books packed. If I hadn't already packed them up for night, I just sit there and study a little bit extra. If there was a test which I flipping despise. So kind of, but I understand as well. I might make a rant on that. That's if I had to. And then I would have to go to my bathroom, get changed, and took a shower because I took one afterwards. I did all that, get my teeth brushed, and then go and make a really, really either quick breakfast or no breakfast at all. And then I might actually have some time for a little bit of television later on until the school bus pretty much came. Now, it seemed like you don't. Now, you seem like you don't find, because you get like an hour or something, and then boom, there you go. But for me personally, I never really had much of a problem, but there are plenty of kids out there that do, and most kids don't even have the right amount of time to get to the bus, terms arms, most of the time, and then to wake up, then they have to get on their clothes, grab their books, and go out and wait for the bus. That's usually the case, and it's a huge problem, on to say. It's a very big, because they don't have the opportunity to eat breakfast, and they don't have an opportunity to sit there and eat lunch. Scratch that, I screwed up, yeah. They don't have much time to eat breakfast or really anything at all. So, what do you have to get to the school breakfast? I've always had a problem with the school break. Well, School, well, up until I think middle school, I had a problem with the school breakfast. They didn't give you really a big portion of breakfast. Now in high school, you get a bit more of a better portion, but around the time they were really skip on breakfast. Like sometimes we got a sausage biscuit in a boat, and that's it. It's a pathetic biscuit in a boat. Yeah, that's it. And that's like it's. I mean, if it was like gourmet style, I'd eat it, but no, it's not. I don't know who made it. Definitely wasn't Chef Kowalski. We needed to get the Dangerous Diner theme from Kirby up here. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Um, you don't do that, or you would sit there and get like crappy egg sandwich or something for breakfast. And let me tell you, it's never good. It's rarely. Most of the time, it's always frozen. Like, what is with that? Why is it always frozen? Another crap. Who's gonna eat that? But even then, though, I mean, it gets back to the whole thing about school because by that time and everything, majority of kids who can't even afford to eat school breakfast, which is like only I think $1 cheaper, but it's still kind of pricey to get. How to sit there and starve for the most part. You have to sit there and you have to starve so much because you didn't have enough money to sit there and pay for a specific meal. And of course, you would go there and get for free a reduced thing. But oftentimes, you couldn't even do that. School lunch has gotten stricter and stricter. If your family's making less than a specific amount, more than a specific amount each year, then you don't qualify for it. You can't get, even if you're going through struggles, or was it less? I don't know. It doesn't matter if you're going through then you usually can't get reduced for free. It's possibility. It's not a possibility for you able to do that. But some students are able to but that's if you're under a specific amount of money. My family couldn't do it because that we couldn't afford it. Even if though this was still, but still though, I'm like I said, big problem, very big problem. But even then, though, there are some schools that have an alternate lunch for people who can't sit there and, pay for it. And my high school had this actually. I tested it out. It actually tested this entire thing out because I felt like it. It was something I wanted to give a shot. So I did. I actually personally asked for their free lunches, so to speak. And they're like, "Are you sure about that?" Because I didn't have to pay for it because I had my own lunch. I probably get like a milk or two. They didn't care if you got like an extra milk. They don't care. It's not like a problem. But yeah, I mean, he get like. But I actually went up to them and I said, um, I said on my own regular bag lunch if I hated it, so I didn't have to eat it. But I got it, and it was like I think it was like either on a tray or like a bag. What? I don't know what it was, but it was like, hey, what the heck? What? Wait, was it what the heck? Was it basically what it was? It was a small little plastic container or a tray. I think that this thing was a container more or less, and it was already like in the fridge. So they took it out and they handed it to me, and I went and I sat down with my real lunch. And the basic lunch, would know. It was a cheese sandwich, not a grilled cheese sandwich, not a ham and cheese one, not a turkey, but a cold cheese. And I'm not talking just the cheese be cold. It was bread that was also cold now. How is the bread cold, you may ask? I don't know. I don't understand. Because, in fact, that actually helps me stay fresh. To be honest, in fact, that actually helps me stay fresh. But even though it's disgusting, like, I took a bite into it, I couldn't eat the rest of it. It was like cheapest form of cheese, not even Velveeta, like Dollar Tree cheese, and they smacked it on 2 slices of crappy white bread, actually crappy wheat breads. And what came with that was a milk and an apple, and it was your lunch. That was probably one of your most piss poor pathetic lunches you could get. Poor excuse for a food item you could ever get. And I ate one of them. I don't know. I think I actually ate the whole thing. I don't know why, but I did it, and it was not good. It was certainly not good. I mean, they didn't even give you any sauces to go with it. They give you like ketchup or mustard, even mayonnaise packets. They just gave you a cold blank sandwich. But unfortunately for a lot of kids, that was what you had to eat. Unless you sat there, like had some homemade lunches, or you just starved to death. But fortunately nowadays schools are starting to ban punk lunch. I'm not joking. Schools are starting to ban packed lunches. I'm not joking. There have been numerous schools nowadays that are taking up arms against packed lunches. Now, why are they doing this, you might be asking yourself? It's relatively simple. They're doing this because the fact that they're not making money, if kids are bringing lunches and things like that, they're not making money because the kids are being able to do it in home for cheap, too little to no money at all compared to the school that have racking up by $2 or $3 per meal. And I've also heard like some schools did like $4. Yeah, ridiculous. Like oh, it's because certain kids have allergies and things like that. I don't care. I mean, okay. I mean, okay. That is understandable, but it doesn't make it good. All right. I mean, I can't say that like I actually remember, but there was this one kid who had a peanut allergy. Allergy. That peanut. That peanut. His peanut allergy. It was apparently so severe that it was airborne. Like it even smelled the peanut. He would even probably die. I remember having to sit there and give up on so many peanut butter, and I had to throw like my lunch ones because the one. And yeah, was not fun. I hated it. I mean, I didn't finish it on the much of it as I could before throwing it out. So I still managed to get my lunch and everything. But yeah, it was not exactly an issue. My main question is, I understand that this might sound a little messed up. Wait, shoot, why exactly you're gonna have a student that has a serious disease or serious allergy as airborne peanut allergy? Why are you gonna risk their life being in front of a bunch of kids that are even in the slightest aware of it and bring something peanut related? Like I wound up doing once, didn't get to do it at it again afterwards. But still, why are you going to put them in what kind of environment? Why not put them either, this sounds kind of messed up, say in like a separate room or something, because it's kind of not right to do that, but it's understandable though for the safety of that specific kid and and it would be fair for the other kids. But why is that everyone else has to sit there and suffer because of that? But even then, I mean, that was like, and I think the kid wound up, moving so we could eat peanut butter as much as we desire, which is fine. But, but with me, which is fine with me, but I still felt bad for the kid, though. But even with that matter, though, it was a bit of a problem. And of course, though, like I said, schools are trying to ban regular packed lunches because they either claim it's not being healthy enough, or it's gonna be here. Here's the reality of it: people that are doing it, not doing it because they health reasons, or if they are the government really on their, or if they are the government's really on their butt. But no one that's really the reason. That's not even the actual reason why they're doing it. That the main reason they're doing it is obvious. They want money. Schools want money. They want as much money as they can get. And there have been many budget cuts too. And a little bit, I'm actually showing you a slideshow of some of the most disgusting food that they actually serve at certain schools. But I'm getting back to the saying, I mean, because it's a very bad thing. Because, maybe the kids have an allergy. They can't eat the school lunch, or the school are just, the school lunches are very bad for you. I mean, even the Michelle Obama based ones are bad for you. They have too much processed salt sauce in there, which is awful. Vegetables are too well done. There's too soft, like the broccoli, which is awful. They're not good for you. Like we eat them anyway, not like we want to, but we're kind of more or less forced to eat, because if we don't eat them, that's like growth. But then that's gross. It's gross, but still. No, but then that's gross, but still, you know what I'm. It's really sad though. They actually have some schools too that not only ban school lunches, but actually take garbage, like leftovers or whatever, and take it and reuse it. I'm not kidding with any of you. There are some schools that do that. Don't believe me? Look it up. I think there's even some schools and everything that claims you that they want to resource whatever, so they have a bin or whatever. You can put like uneaten fruit, but here's the biggest problem with that. Now, I'm not a germaphobe by any means. I eat plenty of stuff off the floor because I'm a Pichu, a mouse. We do that all the time, which to me does me. I mean, if anything, it builds up your immune system. If anything, it builds up your immune system. But even though I find it rather disgusting, there's like a grimy kid's hands that probably have never been washed after touching a ball and a fruit. I've never eaten. I'll get like a simple water wash, and then there you go. You're gonna be eating it again. That's so gross. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Yet some schools do that. They rehash to you specific, but I don't buy that for a single second. They're doing it because they're cheap. They're power hungry. They're all that. It's still wrong. You know, certain schools that will ban lunches that you have. Obviously, some of them came like my school. My school, they have a rule saying that you can't sit there and have fast food. If you do, you have to be like in a separate packaging. But there are plenty of kids I know brought McDonald's and other things with them for school lunch. And school didn't have much of an issue with it. My school, and I'm quite sure some other school, are relatively, easy, like relatively easy with kids. I mean, they're not gonna sit there and force them to sit there and do these things because they know what they're doing. They don't have much of a control on that, but still, I mean, there was a good thing, though. The fast food and everything could still be eaten like certain schools without any problems. But still, now, everyone, play me into the gallery of disgusting food. And like I said, school lunches have gotten worse. Obviously, have gotten worse in more ways than one. It's a problem. It is truly a huge problem in more ways than I could think. It really is. In fact, boys still continue on. And what they're doing now, this leads me more or less to the commentary on each and every single disgusting fast food I'm going to leave. A warning here, this is going to be one of the most disgusting things you've ever seen. Your discretion is definitely advised. If you're eating, I would recommend that you stop or better yet pause or just skip to a certain period. But I can guarantee you that if you were hungry, after watching that, I guarantee you are not gonna be hungry after that. All after seeing some of these pictures. Let's go ahead and move on to these disgusting abomination of food. Here we go. Okay, what is this? This is a pizza. Yeah, this is a pizza. What? Now tell me what's wrong with it. It doesn't look like no pizza. It looked like, oh god. I mean, it could be it's a pizza that's been burned up. Yeah, there's not much for me to say. I mean, it looks like somebody, I don't know, all wrinkled up, look like someone's face or something, like from a horror. It looks like something from Resident Evil or Silent Hill. It just looks like that. I'll just end up with that. Okay, this doesn't look that bad, but what's that yellow thing? What's that yellow thing right there? Okay, you got some potato skins, you got some on a bun, you got some pickles, you got some stuff on a bun. Why is there... Okay, there's not much to say about this either. So, this premium orange, which I find very ironic, because, premium here what we're drinking. Okay, this is where things get interesting. I promise. It looks like somebody just barfed on that pizza. What is all this meat? Is that a quesadilla? Is that the, John Wayne Gatesy quesadilla? Because if it is, well, here's what it looks like. It looks disgusting, and there's some yellow sauce right there. I wonder what that is. It could be, it could be, mustard, honey mustard, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah, there we go. And then you have this, which I don't know what this is. This is disgusting. It looks like somebody just barfed all over the place. It's an egg roll with rice. Yeah, it don't look that good, to be honest. It looks pretty gross. Nasty and gross. It looks like somebody just defecated in there, too. Like somebody took the dump from the boys' bathroom and just put it onto a thing. Ew. Oh, God, it's so nasty to think about. But anyways, here we go. Okay, here we go. Next one. That brown stuff, that liquid in that thing, it looks like somebody hocked a loogie. It looks like somebody locked the flipping loogie in there and then shot a booger out their nose, a snot booger out of their nose into the thing. The greens look ew. Like, they're nasty. I don't know what that bread thing right there is. And I don't know, is that a crab cake right there? On the, bottom right. I don't know what that is. Like, it looks gross, though. I don't want to... It looks gross. And what is that? What is underneath that bread roll? This is terrifying. Is that a fish without its... You know what? I'm done. I gotta continue. It's a bread on top of a fish. What do you even say about this? What in the world? And there's just corn right there, but what is that? Ugh. Like, did no one... Yeah, okay. Is it fried? Well, they didn't do a good job frying it, I'll tell you that. That bread roll looks like it's been through hell itself. I don't care. Anyways, on here. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new, and get ready to check out the other videos on the channel. So, goodbye, everyone.